Hi all, Yankee farm wife here. Well, looking a bit like death warmed over, but we've gotten past the COVID part of this summer and moving on. The worm has turned. It seems that after years of tiptoeing around Donald Trump, pretending he can be treated like a rational human being and pretending he's capable of normal conversation, pretending he's as intelligent as your average 8th grader, despite the fact that he has the vocabulary of a 4th grader on his more lucid days, the media finally grew a pair of balls and addressed him the way they should have from the start. It would have saved us a lot of trouble for sure. They are finally talking to him and about him, well, the way Kamala Harris does. And then some. And is he ever pissed? Sure, they're calling him and his suck-up sidekick Vance weird, and that's the kindest way to say it, but on MSNBC, Claire McCaskill congratulated Charlie. We congratulated Charlie Sykes for writing that Trump has entered what he thinks of as his Fat Elvis stage.
Well, first, I've got to give a shout out to my friend Charlie Sykes. I spit coffee over the weekend when I saw how he referred to Trump, that Trump is in the Fat Elvis stage.
You know, as Mike Barnacle says, this is a deeply damaged man who is really sort of, once again in the Fat Elvis stage of his career.
I feel like that's known to Elvis.
I know, but I love that. I love that. And so I didn't want to go any further in this program without giving love to my fellow pundit Charlie Sykes for the Fat Elvis. And by the way, Fat Elvis is worried, and so is the weirdo he picked as his running mate. Because, this field is pretty damn good.
For the rest of the interview, anytime anyone referred to Donald, they said Fat Elvis instead, and mostly kept a straight face. They acted like a pack of Labrador retrievers romping on the beach, tossing the word weird around like a frisbee, and you could see they were delighted with their newfound freedom to call it as they see it. Who, Patch? Who is responsible for the lightening of the mood, this newfound joy in relating news stories? I wish I could say it was Kamala Harris, and it may be, just a little, but the true hero of the hour is Rachel Scott, who opened Trump's National Association of Black Journalists interview with a list of Trump's failures and misdeeds, particularly towards the Black community. And it was a long one. All these years of tiptoeing and backtracking and carefully considering how the Marmalade menace should be addressed, and one brilliant, beautiful, confident Black professional woman did her job the correct way and brought him to his knees before he could even respond. From moment one, she had him on the ropes. Muhammad Ali up against Fat Elvis. I literally cannot unsee him gyrating on the stage, dripping orangeade sweat onto his white sequined jumpsuit, swinging his little fists around, but never once landing a punch. Rachel Scott, she kept it coming.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
you could see it on his face. How dare she speak to him that way? A woman? A black woman? As if she were a mutant, an aberration of a journalist. He maligned her good name for the next 35 minutes, while she and the other two black women journalists pummeled him with what would be considered normal questioning for anyone else, right up until his handlers realized the entire idea was a tragic mistake and ended the interview almost an hour early, Trump throwing his tiny toddler fists right up until he actually left the stage. Once I thought I heard Mary Poppins say, "Close your mouth, Kathleen, we are not a codfish." Oh, to have seen the ketchup hit the wall in the green room. To see Rachel Scott talk to Donald, as if he were an ordinary human being accountable for his actions. It was Christmas in July for me. I poured a shot of Garrison Brothers from my bottle of Christmas bourbon and sang like I was the Hallelujah Choir on steroids. The spell had been broken, and it was by a trio of black women, Rachel Scott, Harris Faulkner, and Katia Goba. Nothing more fitting, more fabulous, more wretchedly unbearable for him. I pictured Donald waking up in a cold sweat hours later, plagued by nightmares in which he was in a giant cauldron surrounded by the three women chanting, "Double, double, toil and trouble, pants on fire, you lying rubble." I seldom allow myself to call Donald publicly the things that I say in private, because I was raised to be a lady. But after watching the way he spoke to those three amazing, brilliant women, all I wanted to do was grab the chubby cheese puff by his collar, pop a hook through his fish lips, and drag him over and make him apologize to every one of them, and then to our country for dragging us into his sordid abyss. And because I was in another state and, Secret Service and all, I burst into a chorus of, "Ding dong, the witch is dead." The spell is broken. The very next day, the press began to toss the weird world around like sardines to a school of dolphins, and Trump came back with his usual third-grade response. "I know you are, but what am I?" Then, J.D. Vance's eyeliner was added to the dynamic duo's list of oddities, alongside Donald's cheddar cheeks and manufactured hairdo. Not that there's anything wrong with it, J.D., but if you're going to loose your inner diva, go bolder, go home. Give those lids a line of glitter or something. Am I being disrespectful? No, not at all. The second a person exposes themselves as a bully, they no longer deserve respect from anyone. And I don't care how much money you have. I know, you're gonna say, it's not what I said when I did the video about Marjorie Taylor Greene. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is little more than a pesky mosquito in the room. Donald Trump has destabilized the world. He's made it a less safe place to be. From a global perspective, Donald Trump has made it less safe to be in the world. Sorry. He's a bad man. Donnie has disrespected women, people of color, special needs individuals, members of our military, hardworking public servants, judges, his ex-wives, his present wife and child, every woman he has ever sexually molested, the women and children in beauty pageants whom he bragged about seeing naked whenever he felt like it, which was apparently often, the press, members of NATO, foreign dignitaries, unless they're from Russia or North Korea, scientists, doctors. I don't care what his title used to be. He is a very bad man-child. Bad. Okay. I may be a little over the top today, and you can chalk it up to giddiness, because I can't unsee Kamala Harris, broad grin on her face, saying, "You got something to say to me? Say it to my face."
Well, Donald, I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage, because as the saying goes, if you got something to say,
And I smile when I think of Donald attempting to mock her by saying she used to be Indian, but now she's black. Or that you could pronounce Kamala many different ways, but she only allows you to use 3 different ways. Donnie, here's the deal. There's only one way you should be saying Kamala, and that's Karma-la. button up your sparkly XXL jumpsuit and brace yourself, because by the hands, hearts, and voices of Black women all over the country and most of the rest of us, karma is coming to get you. And Carmela is leading the way. The spell is broken. I think this is finally going to be a lot of fun. Sincerely, the Yankee farm wife.